What is going on, everybody? Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks. I know I'm a little late on this one, but it is the results of the talent up that we did for week 1 of the Ring of Immortality monthly contest. Lots of implications for the feud lineup, which I also have a little feud match video coming out soon. But I wanted to go ahead and showcase once again the characters that I take up for Talent Up so that you all can see why I take them up for Talent Up. So let's start out with one of my all-time favorites. It is Mr. Big Kev, Kevin Nash. Nash got his huge revamp on all of these moves. Massive revamp on his gear where it's +3 instead of +1 now, and an even bigger revamp on the moment, which now gives 1500% column break and 200% all color gem. We're also rocking 100% strap with the Yeet Drip combo for the column breaks. And for feud purposes, we had a red MP, black MP, Santa MP, as well as JD McDonough. So going to be a lot of fun with Kevin Nash. Alright, so first things first, what I do is I try to find a row that doesn't have any black gems in it, and then I will go ahead and pick the loot gems that remain on the board so that all the other gems that fill in will hopefully be decent ×7 gems here. So we picked up 3 black gems, 2 reds, and a purple, which is great. You go ahead and hit your other move, which generates a bunch more column break gems, and that will trigger 7 more ×7 gems, and then that very first row that you made into column breaks, you just go ahead and turn that into a 7x1. That breaks the entire board, which has a bunch of ×7 gems on it and 130 million damage. Pretty effortless to break 100 million with Kevin Nash. Alright, next up, you have seen, I'm sure, a decent chunk of gameplay recently on the channel here for him. But it is Powerhouse Hogan, Hulk Hogan Powerhouse, the immortal one. We have essentially everything under the sun for him. We've got the gear. We've got not 1, not 2, but all 3 moments for him. We also have a 100% gem damage strap for him with full Fury 2s. Not rocking the skill plates for him. I believe, also just for argument's sake, there is a 150 that I have that I just haven't bothered to open up and put on him yet, so he will do even more. And he's also missing 40 levels, so even more than that. For feud, we ran him this way. Was very straightforward. You get a boost to all your moves, and again, this isn't leveled up, would get a little bit more. I don't even know if this gets an extra one, it doesn't, but very simplistic amounts of gameplay for crazy amounts of damage. So what I did is I went ahead and put Kofi on him for the +4. We also have +4 for the gear, which is 8 yellow MP. 1 for the turn is 9, and I had him in the middle lane, so 10 just in case. And again, 1 in the middle lane gives 1 across the board with the gears, 5 across the board, and 1 for turn is 6 across the board. So we were pretty consistently over what we needed. Obviously, I know not everybody has Tech Rocky, but the reason I took my Hogan up is because I do. And I also have a couple of these zombie coaches in here for just more generation on gems. I know that I can use like the new ones that are like +3 blue and 30% blue gem and all that jazz, but I just don't need it. The zombie ones here have been used previously for me, so it was very simple to go ahead and do that. Yeah, we're going to get right on into it. So very straightforward. You hit the boost move and you hit the wild card move. And that's really it. That's all there is to it. Super simplistic gameplay, crazy amounts of damage. So 73 million damage is what that shows. Also, keep in mind that wild card damage on the right that shows up in this part of the screen here does not show all of the damage. It only shows the strongest damage. So if your wild card attaches to 2 red gems and 2 green gems, it's only showing the 2 red gems for Hogan because he's a powerhouse. It's not showing how much damage it does for the 2 green gems also. So even though it says 73 million, it is significantly more than that. And what we're going to go ahead and do, and I know I'm not really cutting through this one. Typically I cut through all the matches and whatnot, but I'm going to go ahead and actually use the multiply gem move on this one. So here's the boost, very straightforward, and then you're going to hit the multi-gem, turns the 7 of the red gems on board. So if there's more, 7 of them. If there's less, it turns all of them into times 9 gems on the board. So those get significantly strong, as you can see, around 15 million damage a piece. So even if we break just a couple of them, is more than enough. The wild cards do have a chance to cover them up, of course, but we broke like 3 of them there. 115 million that time if we go about that route. So very, very strong, very consistent amounts of damage. And there's also another way of running him. Well, there's actually a bunch of ways of running this guy. If you're not really feeling the wild card yellow setup, you can go ahead and swap out, and that's part of the reason of him being so flexible. You can swap out to the belly to back suplex, and then instead of just using any of these, you can use red generate on the back. You can use black MP on the front if all of your yellow MP is tied up. And that does about the same damage too. You definitely can get away with using the hulking up in that scenario because you're making more red gems, so you're typically connecting to those red multiplies. And the hulking up also is great against acrobats. You actually get to choose red gems first and then make more more red into multiply gems. So very strong. And if that is not your cup of tea, you also can go with the big boot and you can simply trigger the scoop slam twice. So just for argument's sake here, we can go over that. The one thing that you would have to do is you have to put on black MP trainer as well because the big boot is 8 MP. The reason that it's fully loaded here is because we're on tour perks, but just for visual sake, so you can see what we're talking about, you hit the boost, you destroy 6 red gems without moving the pin bar, you hit the boost again, and then you can hit the wild card move, which we were already dealing 73-ish million damage before, and this is with hitting the boost twice. Now we're at 120 million. Again, the wild cards don't show all of the additional damage there, so it's even more than that. Definitely a huge win for my account is taking Hogan up. Alright, and last but certainly not least, in regards to fighters that we took up, went ahead and took up King Gunther, the King General himself. Really like Gunther. He's got a crazy armor set. I know a lot of people love him for his damage. His damage is good. I like him for his armor. It's a little bit different, a little bit out of the box gameplay for me. The moment he got added to, thankfully, I'm not going to say I fought, but I definitely brought that up and was glad that that got, I guess, fixed is probably the best way of saying it, and adjusted for, I should say. So he gets 50% armor as well as 100% column break damage, which both of them help significantly. He does have a column break damage move, so that definitely helps out there. I also like this armor setup with his crazy strong protect gems. You can see I took him gold and maxed out this move. So with 99 MP, this is how I will be running him. This is how I ran him during feud. I ran this just in case I found people with multiply gems that I wasn't certain I would beat on turn 1. But in a normal scenario, I would most likely be running, where is she? Right here, the only other previous one that I have, which is Alexa Bliss for 25% more protect gem strength. And then after 99 MP wears off, I would be getting rid of Bubba, and I'd be putting on Lawler for the gain MP. But honestly, it's all about the same right now with how strong these protect gems are. From his weekend, I also have a 100% armor strap. We've got full armor medals on here with a tier 5 armor medal. I also put a cheap shot on where in case it triggers, it's an extra 50%. And an ultimate defensive skill plate there. I just so happen to have a bunch more blue than any of the other ones, so that's the one that we picked up. You can tell with the skill plates, the armor on the strap is over 300%. With the moment, it is over 350%. It's strong. So for now with 99 MP, it's very simple. You literally just hit the finisher and you win. Because you have 27 2 million strength protect gems, which is 55-ish million, 56-ish million worth of protect that someone has to kick out. And that's after dealing with all the armor. So For tour opponents, there really isn't anyone that is strong enough to deal with this. There's probably a better breakdown on my feud video of using Gunther. And you'll actually see in that feud video how dynamic of a character he actually can be. And this is very interesting too, that they have the flat from Santa on here, but it's still not enough. So, I mean, for 99 MP, it's very simple. You hit this move, and you kind of just win. And you watch as, even for 2 million damage, no one's kicking out of 55 million gem worth of Protect Gem. The other move in there is the Chop, which essentially makes a bunch of multis and then column breaks and breaks it before the finisher, putting out the Protect Gem. So instead of 2 mil, it's like 20 mil, give or take, because I haven't built for armor, not for damage. With damage, obviously, he is significantly stronger and can definitely wipe people out, but with there being people out there that counter column breaks and counter multi-gems and all this new type of stuff, there really isn't much of a counter to just enough armor out there. So that is it for King Gunther. I will say and make a quick little mention, the other characters that I did take up, one of them was Apollo Creed. I'm not using him as a fighter this go around. He's not really someone that I like using as a fighter, but I did take him up for his bleed trainer. There is no one in particular that I'm using this very second who utilizes bleed. The only person that was on my hit list for bleed was OTC. I think that OTC's bleed, when it gets worked up, actually not too shabby. So just decided to take him up. There might be someone that uses a really strong bleed in the near future, so looking forward to that. And the talent up this time around was actually pretty tough because it was Hall of Fame based, so every non-Hall of Famer that you worked on gave you a significantly less amount of points compared to what it normally did, versus if you worked on Hall of Famers now, it gave you a drastic amount more. And so what I did, I actually ended up getting a fuse up for Hall of Fame Trish. She was 5-star gold with 1 hollow star. I decided I'm going to take her to 6-star bronze with the old tokens that I have. She has a coach ability for the 40% purple move damage, which I know sounds a little silly to some people, but sometimes you like to double those up with Gooker. I know he has 75% now, but 75% and 40% is better than 75% and not having 40%. So I'm going to go ahead and save this fuse up for a future faction event that you get points for fuse, evolve, enhance, all that type of stuff. And because she's 6-star now, I will be able to get 6-star points for it. And when she fills that star, you'll see she will go over the 26K marker. So that is it for my talent up this time around. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like the video. If you have not done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends who are asking about who they should take up, or who Bob took up, or someone that they know who they took up for talent up, all that type of stuff. And leave some comments below. Who did you take up for talent up? What did you think of the new changes in this talent up structure? You ended up getting, instead of 1 point per 1 coin, you ended up getting 1 point per 100 coins. So they definitely knocked off a lot of points there. And like I mentioned, it was more Hall of Fame centric than it was for regular characters, which is why I ended up working up so many characters this time around instead of just the regular 1 or maybe 2 characters. So leave some comments below in regards to what you think about that. But enough of me yammering on. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed your own talent up, and hopefully you all enjoyed the feud this weekend. But until next time, everybody, have a good one.